Part 2. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji Sheng Chong. Chapter 11. Rage Potion, click. Detailed description, it can be used on alien beasts or on oneself. Gain 5 times more power than oneself within 1 minute. This potion can only be used once by both humans and alien beasts. Lin Yu was relieved that he didn't see the word side effects. He finally saw something that was not bad. The font of the rage potion was yellow, which meant that it was a gold level item. The mutation potion that came later was a silver level item. 1 platinum level potion was given, and 2 gold level potions were given. Although the silver level was a bit lower, the quantity was still acceptable. This mutation potion can also be used by humans and alien beasts. The description said, for humans, the effect is unknown, and for alien beasts, it can increase the probability of mutation. This made Lin Yu feel a little dark. It means that using it does not mean that it can really mutate. There is a probability of failure, but it is not marked above. There is another paragraph below, it can be used in multiple bottles. Lin Yu felt a little maliciousness from the game system towards him, which was a disaster for the player's games. Experience pills are also silver level items. It is used for rapid upgrades. 1 bottle can increase 10 experience points with no side effects. Lin Yu used all of them without hesitation. With 1000 experience points, he only upgraded 3 levels. You can't expect too much from a silver level item. After fiddling with some things in his backpack, Lin Yu took out 2 bottles of mutation potions. These were in transparent glass bottles that could be wrapped in one hand. 1 bottle was blue and the other was red. There seemed to be labels on them. Lin Yu picked up the red bottle. The label had very small words on it. It could increase the mutation probability of exotic beasts by 5%. The mutation direction was strength. Seeing this, Lin Yu narrowed his eyes and pondered carefully. If we could get a few more bottles of this thing and use them together, wouldn't it be 100% successful? The most important thing is that its mutation direction is specified. The red bottle is strength, and the blue bottle is agility. Lin Yu was not expecting to be able to specify the direction of mutation. It seems that although the mutation potion can only increase the probability by 5%, if the amount is large, it can still be regarded as a fine product in the silver level. Lin Yu did not notice that there was a line of small words in the lower left corner of the 2 bottle labels. The taste is extremely bitter. Summon Dabai to his side. Among the 10 bottles of mutation potion, 2 are red, which means they mutate in the direction of strength. Although the total probability is only 10%, Lin Yu still decided to give it a try. After all, it is free, and it is not a loss whether it succeeds or not. Dabai and Lin Yu are in tune with each other. At this time, it lowered its huge body, and Lin Yu poured the mutation potion into its mouth. Suddenly, Dabai flapped its wings, as if it was stimulated. What's wrong? Lin Yu's heart tightened. Is there something wrong with this potion? At this time, the beast control system sent a message. Pet, Black Cloud Snake Eagle. Name, Dabai. Loyalty, 100%. Qualification, Ordinary, Mutating. After glancing at the message, Dabai calmed down, curled up into a ball, and even closed his eyes. Mutating, there should be no problem, maybe there will be some reaction after eating, Lin Yu muttered to himself. He called Xiao Jin again, and the Earth Bear had already mutated. Click on its attribute panel. Pet, Earth Shaker. Level, Intermediate Mutation Level 3, Level 13. Life, 6000. Attack Power, 2500. Speed, 600. Defense, 3000. Qualification, Mutation, can be mutated. Skills, Tear, Rage, Crush. Tear, increases own strength by 10%. Rage, in the state of not recognizing relatives, all attributes are increased by 20%, and anyone seen will be hit. Crush, claws have a penetrating effect, and attacking the same level beasts ignores defense. As a mid-level beast, Xiaojin is much stronger in all aspects than De Bai, but the speed is a flaw. De Bai's speed is 6 times that of Xiaojin. After mutation, a talent skill will be added. The talent skill generated by Xiaojin after mutation is Crush, with a penetrating effect. In Lin Yu's mind, a set of coordinated moves of De Bai and Xiaojin has been imagined. First, let De Bai release the skill Black Cloud to interfere with the enemy's vision, and finally let Xiaojin come on the field and use the skill to crush and kill with one blow. Of course, if it is a monster with great potential, it is best to be able to subdue it. Xiaojin's potential is unquestionable. This is the first monster that Lin Yu encountered that was mutated by itself, and he subdued it with great difficulty. The panel shows that Xiaojin can continue to mutate, and the number of mutations is roughly equivalent to potential. Lin Yu took out all the mutation potions and put them in a row, selecting the appropriate ones to continue to mutate Xiaojin. Blue represents agility, and there are 2 bottles. Cyan represents speed, and there are 2 bottles. Yellow represents defense, and there are 3 bottles. Green represents life, and there is only 1 bottle. The most suitable for Xiaojin is of course blue and cyan. Lin Yu hopes that Xiaojin will be a flexible giant bear, moving around on the battlefield, and he has already imagined this picture in his mind. After making a decision, Lin Yu gave both blue and cyan to Xiaojin, hoping that it can succeed. Lin Yu opened the system and the world chat exploded, with messages flashing down rapidly. Before he had time to look, a message from the system covered the entire interface. The system upgrade is complete, please click restart. Restarting. During the process, there were several lines of text on the interface, describing the functions included in this upgrade. With the new currency system, players can sell their loot independently. The era of bartering is over. New store function, sell loot to get survival coins, you can buy everything you need in it, only you can't think of it, there is nothing that the store does not have. A new friends system is added. Players can add friends, send private messages to them, and have video contact within 100 miles. Add a new lottery pool function, use survival coins to draw generous rewards, and find out who is the real European emperor. The new feature Colosseum will be opened in 10 days. After Lin Yu read the announcement, he murmured, there is actually a lottery, I must try it. After a while, the system update is completed. The email beeped. There are all things given by the system, and the top one is an upgrade reward. This system is somewhat conscientious. Congratulations on getting Iron X1000, Wood X1000. Lin Yu no longer lacks these things, but some people in world chat are happy to say that the system is showing mercy. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji Sheng Chong. Chapter 12. A red dot appeared on the regional channel, and Lin Yu curiously clicked in. Compared to the world chat, this place is much quieter, with only a few words. After the system upgrade, a place name, Wuhu Mountain, is displayed at the top of the regional chat page. There is also a map in the upper right corner. The system should be automatically located. The area where Lin Yu is now is called Wuhu Mountain. He clicked in and found that only one place in this place was lit, which was the place called Wuhu Mountain. The other locations are all unknown, waiting to be explored. Lin Yu is far away from Wuhu Mountain. The entire Wuhu Mountain area is more than 3,000 miles in radius. This map can only see the map of the Wuhu Mountain area, and there is nothing in the Wuhu Mountain area. Lin Yu can only exit and open the world chat to see these middle school players, which is also a way of entertainment. I drew a silver level iron sword. Damn, it hits the soul with one shot. Rubbish, silver level things can only be said to be second class, and they are all over the street. Some people are talking about the lottery, some are talking about the map, and more people are talking about the store. My iron is only worth 2 survival coins. I used 6,280 pieces of wood to exchange for survival coins and drew a 10 draw, and I won a silver one, so I got my money back. Are there any brothers who are watching the video? Lin Yu was a little surprised, because he saw many people looking for him in the world. The big boss of China is online. Don't say it, I have already sent a friend request. Newbie, please take me. Please give me a friend position. Exit the world chat and find the friend function. Sure enough, the list has exploded. I haven't made any comments, how did these people find me? Lin Yu was a little confused. Looking at this endless list, he really thought that the system should have a one-click rejection function. Fortunately, there is an option to reject adding friends in the settings, and Lin Yu clicked to turn it on. The beeping sounded non-stop, which was really too noisy. The store icon is a shabby roadside store. Clicking on the store, a notice popped up first, with a particularly dazzling red font. Dear survivor, your survival coins are 0. You can't move without money. It seems to be a bit sarcastic. Lin Yu snorted. Funny, I have plenty of resources. I'll empty your shabby store. After closing the message, there were only 2 options in the store at first, one was to sell and the other was to buy. Lin Yu sold some materials from the monsters. Since many of them were elementary, the intermediate ones were few, and he also sold some basic things such as iron and wood. 1 piece of iron equals 2 survival coins. 1 piece of wood equals 1 survival coin. Some players who have the hardest time are cutting wood every day and selling it in the store. They want to try their luck in the lottery pool, but the results are not satisfactory. Congratulations on winning survival coins, 100,000. Lin Yu first exchanged 100,000 survival coins, clicked on the purchase option, and the page changed to a variety of products. The most popular products are in the first row. Beast Taming Classic, Blood Emperor Sutra. The first one is called Beast Taming Classic. The picture is a black 3-dimensional book with a flowing river in the background. Introduction: Beast Taming Classic is a skill that can cultivate the power of beast taming and better control the beast. Price: 1,000 survival coins. It's so cheap, this is Lin Yu's first feeling. The skill should be a new thing launched in this upgrade, so that all survivors can tame beasts. This should be the purpose of selling it so cheaply. The second one is also a skill, called Blood Emperor Sutra, which requires the blood of the beast to temper oneself. Lin Yu frowned. These are completely 2 schools. The Beast Taming Classic is about taming beasts, while the Blood Emperor Sutra takes a completely different path. It does not taming beasts, but improves oneself and trains oneself into a beast. The key is that to obtain the blood of the beast, one must kill the beast. One controls, the other kills. I don't know if the 2 schools will fight one day. However, according to the sales situation, there should be more people in the beast taming school. The third most popular item is the beast taming capsule, which he is very familiar with. Since the beast taming code has just been launched, it is estimated that everyone is still in the initial stage, so the beast taming capsule ranks 3rd, but Lin Yu thinks that the latter will definitely surpass the previous 2 skills. Introduction: Bronze level beast taming capsule. When it touches the alien beast, it can be subdued, with a success rate of 10%, and the price is 1,000 survival coins. The success rate is frighteningly low, but it is still selling hot. It is completely different from the beast taming system. After thinking about it, Lin Yu decided to buy both skills to try it out, and he didn't know what it felt like to practice. However, Lin Yu frantically clicked on the word buy. Cannot buy, cannot buy. What the hell? Lin Yu now feels that this survival system is full of malice towards him. Even the most basic things are not allowed to be bought. Looking down, Lin Yu directly bought all the materials needed to build the Skylight Fortress, spending a total of 80,000 survival coins. The most expensive one was the Skylight Stone, which cost 7,000 survival coins. His wallet was almost empty, and Lin Yu felt that he was spending money like water. The further he looked, the fewer people were buying. Most of the items were very expensive. With Lin Yu's level, he could only see silver level items. Open the lottery pool. There are two types of lottery pools. One is for survival coins, and the other is something called survival tokens that you can get by drawing 10 consecutive draws from the survival coin pool. With more than 10,000 survival coins and nowhere to put them, Lin Yu started the lottery. Now he recited it in his mind several times and looked through the list of prize pools. The grand prize is a gold-level defensive weapon Zero Space Bone Wings. This is a thing that can make people fly in the sky. Just thinking about it makes people feel itchy. Then there are the second-class silver-level items, a total of 15. Further down are a lot of bronze-level items. Lin Yu hummed the song Good Luck Comes and started with a single draw. A single draw costs 600 survival coins. Congratulations, you get Wood X 100. What a loss. He clicked a few more single draws, and most of the things he drew were iron, flowers, and a small amount of survival coins. Zero Void Bone Wing, Zero Void Bone Wing. After repeating the name of the grand prize several times, Lin Yu excitedly clicked the option of 10 consecutive draws, and then closed his eyes. When the sound of the draw passed, Lin Yu suddenly opened his eyes. On the list, only one silver level item was glowing. What a loss. Why didn't I win the grand prize? Lin Yu didn't spend all the survival coins. Next to the interface, there was a friend message, and he remembered that he didn't add anyone. Are you interested in joining our team? Do you want to know the real secret of this game? Has anyone given you a fortress blueprint? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji-Sheng Chang. Chapter 13. Weird and absurd, unlike those in the world chat, there are not so many bells and whistles, he just uses your curiosity to force you to reply to him. Lin Yu frowned and sent a message. Are you a ghost? Like the person who sent the blueprint, Lin Yu had never sent a message to the world at all. The only possibility was that the system announced that he was the first level 10 player and showed his ID. Maybe someone had nothing to do. After writing down the ID, many people added friends, so Lin Yu chose not to add friends. However, just when he went to the shabby canteen to buy something and draw a prize, there was one more person in his friend list. Lin Yu only has two friends, one is the Survival King, and the other is a player named Mamimo. The Survival King was automatically added by the system and was not a real player. Lin Yu had already deleted the Survival King. At the same time, Mamimoya responded to the message. You're curious as to how I joined you. Don't worry, we don't have any ill intentions. We sincerely want to invite you. After all, it's too dangerous to fight alone in this world. I know you are a hero, but strange animals also live in groups. When a tiger encounters you can only run when you reach a hyena pack. After reading this news, Lin Yu felt from the bottom of his heart that this person was too utilitarian. He preferred someone who was kind and sincere, instead of praising you with curiosity as soon as he came. What if I'm not a tiger? The message is sent. There seemed to be some irritation there. Lin Yu's words were irrelevant. Maybe he thought he was talking to Lin Yu seriously, but Lin Yu didn't reply directly to him at all, and spoke like a kid in kindergarten. You feel that you have a sense of accomplishment when the system announces you are the first one. There are people outside the world, and there are still people outside the world. How do you think I added you? Do you think it is difficult for me to find you? How much luck has it gained? Level of rubbish. Very hot-tempered. Lin Yu didn't reply to him. He found the option to block in the chat and clicked on it. First of all, he knew nothing about the opponent, and no one in the world was talking about the so-called team. The most important thing is that he does not need to cooperate. Acting alone is Lin Yu's preferred option. He is indeed not a tiger. Thinking about it this way, Lin Yu felt that his information was indeed quite closed, that is, he could only look at the world and chat, and read what he needed from the messy information. However, it is still in the early stages of the game, and the lack of information should be the current situation for most people. Lin Yu looked at the panel of the beast control system, which showed that Dabai's mutation had progressed to 30%. Xiaojin on the other side was very sorry that they all failed. Why is this? Lin Yu pursed his lips. Xiaojin knew that his mutation was unsuccessful, and he leaned against the stone wall with some dejection, motionless like a giant rag doll. Lin Yu walked to its feet and looked at Xiaojin's numb eyes. Is this the sequelae of the failed mutation? It was impossible to succeed all the time. Lin Yu still hoped to win the lottery, but after a few draws, he only got a second prize. Woo! Xiaojin noticed that his master was beside him, his innocent-looking body moved, and he made a deep sound from his mouth. It's okay. Failure is the mother of success. Lin Yu climbed up on its shoulders and sat down. In his ears, Xiaojin made an unusually loud whirring sound like a giant bellows. This was its breathing sound. The stars are twinkling. The night passed and dawn broke in the sky. Bimax's mutation is completed and he has gained a new skill pounds, strength increased by 10%, speed increased by 50% for 10 seconds. When this skill is used, coupled with the skill Black Cloud, it can be said that most of the alien beasts in the middle level will be injured, and the weaker ones may be killed directly. Speed is the advantage of the beasts in the sky. It is said that the early bird catches the worm. Lin Yu went out. The purpose of today was to find a good place to build a fortress. To this end, he bought a forging furnace drawing from the store. Only with the drawing can he cast. After all, it is here. The side nest is too heavy. Of course, he can also ask Xiaojin to lift it. The main reason is that he wants to find a commanding height to view the panoramic view. The Dabai nest is not the highest one yet. When I went out that day, I saw a mountain that was even taller and more majestic than here. Lin Yu was heading in that direction today. Dabai was flying in the sky. As a detective, he sat on Xiaojin's shoulders and swept across the strange beasts he encountered. Riding Dabai is naturally the fastest. Haste makes waste. On the way to the destination, collecting some trophies will make people happier. In fact, there is no money. The progress was not fast. As it approached noon, the plains were filled with lush green. A meandering river flowed into the distance. Its source was a majestic mountain range. Beside the stream, a tree big enough for two people to hug fell down, creating a huge wave of water. Only humans talking and the low roars of alien beasts were heard. You have to be a civilized bear and be polite. Then a giant bear stepped across the stream, and a figure stood on his shoulder. He was talking. Oh, there's no need to run so fast, it's too bumpy. Isn't it almost here? The endless grassland, the wind blowing slowly, makes people feel comfortable both physically and mentally. Tap tap tap. If you lie down on the ground, you can find that the earth is shaking slightly. In the distance, a black wave surged over. The bear named Xiaojin stopped. Lin Yu squinted his eyes. The black wave was very large, stretching for several kilometers. Come on, let's speed up, that's probably not a good thing. Roar. Xiaojin started running. Lin Yu kept looking over there, and soon, the wave was approaching. That's a bunch of strange horse-like beasts are all going crazy for some reason. Are they migrating? Lin Yu had many questions in his heart. Faintly, he seemed to hear someone shouting, in the direction of the horses. Isn't there someone driving so many horses? Who is so awesome? Lin Yu came up with such a strange idea. When he got closer, he realized that these horses all had single horns on their heads and most of them were completely black. After reaching a certain distance, the beast control system automatically displays information about this strange beast. Exotic beast, black wildebeest. Skills, strong, natural weapons. Strength, speed increased by 10%. Natural weapon, the unicorn has a penetration effect and a strength bonus of 10%. Because it was a group of horses, the system did not display detailed information such as bleeding volume and speed. Help. This time, he seemed to hear help. It was a human voice. The horses rushed over, and the first row of horses was several miles long. There must be tens of thousands of black wildebeests here. These black wildebeests should be the first level exotic beasts. If they are the intermediate level, it would be too scary. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji Sheng Chong. Chapter 14. Even if you are a beginner, it is definitely not comfortable to charge in, because there are too many of them. Although Xiaojin is extremely strong, it is definitely not a wise choice to fight with tens of thousands of crazy horses. Sometimes, numbers really determine everything. Help, help. Lin Yu saw humans at noon. They were running in front of the horses, wearing black clothes, and completely blended with the horses behind. What was particularly strange was that 2 legs ran faster than 4 legs, and the horses could not catch up with them. Lin Yu thought briefly and sighed. The giant bear walked towards the direction of the horses, leaving a huge footprint on the ground with every step. The black-horned horses were crazy. They chased the 4 people in front, even the ferocious bears would go up to them. Roar! Xiaojin slapped several of them to death with one slap, and the color wave submerged it. The human figure on its shoulder jumped down, the black-horned horse was galloping, and the figure rushed out with a slash. In the sky, a huge black shadow covered the sky, as if the sky had suddenly darkened. It was an eagle. The eagle swooped down, and the 4 people each held a weapon in their hands and were fighting hard. When they saw the eagle, they had only one thought in their hearts: it was over. Then, they heard someone shouting. It seemed that the strong wind brought by the eagle's wings made the robes rustle. Come up quickly. Do you want to be trampled to death? They came to their senses, and in front of them, the huge brown bear was still raging, and every attack brought countless blood and minced meat. And the young man with a long sword stepped on the back of a black-horned horse and turned over. Don't come over. Eagle. What a big eagle. Run. Among them, a man who looked to be in his 20s shouted at the boy with all his strength. However, the boy seemed not to hear his roar. The brown bear should be his pet, and it also broke out in the direction of the boy. At this time, the loud barking of horses penetrated all the sounds and rang out on the vast grassland, attracting the attention of the 5 people. The leader of the alien black-horned horse is detected approaching. Alien, black-horned horse intermediate level 1, level 11. Life, 3500. Speed, 2200. Attack power, 1800. Defense, 1500. Qualification, mutation. Skills, high bark, one-horned ruler. High bark, the same species within a radius of 10 miles enters a frenzy state. One-horned ruler, the horn on the top of the head emits a black light attack. Lin Yu's eyes swept to the left. It was a black-horned horse that was twice as strong as ordinary species. The sharp horns on the top of its head were also larger and longer. Its 2 front hooves were raised, and the whole body was almost upright. A dark beam of light shot over, and the target was Lin Yu. Lin Yu was very puzzled. Why did the 5 people choose me? Is it because I am handsome? This thought flashed through his mind, and he had no mind to think about anything else. Because the attack speed was too fast, he jumped forward with all his strength, and the unicorn ruler almost brushed his back and finally smashed a black horned horse to pieces. The intermediate level beast, however, has its own unique features. Skills cannot be released all the time. Lin Yu stabilized his body, holding a beast taming capsule in his hand, and suddenly rushed towards the direction of the black horned horse leader. The 4 were surrounded by black horned horses again, and the eagles that covered the sky circled in the sky, and the giant bear crushed everything. The black horned horse leader rushed over, along with several strong black horned horses. They were crazy and rushed when they saw humans. The unicorn on their heads was their weapon. Lin Yu thought it was handsome, but it felt a bit tasteless. Come on, he roared. After all, he had subdued such a big eagle and a bear. Can't he subdue a horse like yours? At this moment, Lin Yu forgot everything, and his blood boiled. Like all beasts, humans also have times when they are desperate. Finding the right time, Lin Yu threw the beast taming capsule out, and then clenched the sword. The capsule fell on the leader of the black horned horse. The beast taming capsule was used successfully. Current pet, black horned horse. Name, unnamed. Qualification, mutation, can mutate again. The remaining horses are still rushing, as if they didn't realize that their leader is gone. After killing all the way, including the beasts that Xiao Jin defeated in the dense forest, he was the one who made the last blow. At this time, he has reached level 15. Strength, speed, etc., have changed dramatically compared to when he first came. It is no problem to deal with these beginner horses. After the killing, Lin Yu walked over to pick up the capsule and waited, calling Dabai to come down in his heart. They should go. In the sky, the black cloud snake eagle spit out a large black cloud from its mouth, blocking the view, and countless horses rushed around. Lin Yu put Xiao Jin into the capsule and rescued the 4 people on Dabai's back. In the sky, the 2 men and 2 women were very embarrassed. Dabai's back was very wide, not to mention 5 people, even 10 people would not be a problem. The young man who had asked Lin Yu to run away quickly before had countless scars on his body, and his black robe was tattered. The 3 of them were still lying. He stood up and bowed to Lin Yu in front of him. Brother, thank you so much. Lin Yu waved his hand and said, it's a small matter, we are all compatriots. My name is Joke, and the tall one is my childhood friend Lu Zimen, and they are sisters. The older one is Yang Rusu, and the younger one is Yang Nian'er. She and I grew up together. Joke introduced his companions, and they stood up and thanked Lin Yu together. Lin Yu said politely, and then started talking again. Brother Lin has reached the 3rd level of the beast control code. Otherwise, how could he have such a powerful ability to control beasts and subdue 3 strange beasts? His younger sister, Yang Nian'er, was hugged by Lu Zimen, but she asked curiously. People worship the strong, and this strong man even saved their lives. They were all in their early 20s, and Lin Yu was only 18 years old. As someone who had read many novels and was familiar with various routines, he actually had no advantage over these people in front of him. The elder sister seemed relatively silent, while the younger sister and Joke were more active. So, why are you being chased by such a large herd of horses? The key is, they can't run as fast as you, Lin Yu asked his doubts, and at the end of the sentence, he showed a weird smile. According to his guess, these people are estimated to be around level 10. When it comes to racing, there is no comparison with the exotic beast black horned horse. Lin Yu couldn't outrun the elementary black wildebeest. After all, people are born to run, they have 2 more legs than you, but the black wildebeest just couldn't catch up with these people. Just tell me if it's strange or not. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji-Sheng Chang. Chapter 15. Jokai looked at Lu Zimen, who nodded to him, and then he said, "Have you ever used potion?" "I have quite a few in my backpack, both for exotic animals and humans," Lin Yu thought to himself. Immediately he looked astonished and said, "I've seen it in the store, but that potion is very expensive." Before Jokai could answer, Lu Zimen said, "Of course, it's just the medicine that can't outrun the horses. It also uses pills, which you can't find in stores." Lu Zimen's tone was somewhat cryptic, as if he thought this was a great thing. Jokai smiled calmly and said, "It is true that you can't buy it in the store, not because of the level." "Very good." Lin Yu sat down. Dabai's feathers were very big and not soft. The only regret was that it was cloudy today. It would have been perfect if it was sunny. When Jokai heard such a sentence, he paused. He thought the other party would continue, smiled awkwardly, and asked, "Where are you going, brother Lin?" "Here, there." Lin Yu pointed to the mountain over there. The expressions of the four of them changed, and Jokai said, "You want to go to the King Mountains? That place is dangerous. Brother Lin has 2 second-level beasts around him, so he is not safe." "That's called King Mountain Range. It's a good name." "It's okay. I just went to take a look, not to fight with strange beasts." "Brother Joe, thank you for your concern." Lin Yu smiled slightly. Jokai shook his head and said, "Brother Lin, you are so polite. You can be said to be our savior, but I don't know how to repay you. I am old, so I would like to advise you, that place is very fierce." With a sincere tone and a serious face, Lin Yu nodded and said, "Is Brother Joe familiar with this place?" "We're not familiar with each other. Let me ask you, do you think this world is real?" "It's quite true." Lin Yu looked a little innocent. "Zimen, come and tell him," Jokai said. Lu Zimen coughed twice. "Brother Lin, thank you again for the life-saving grace of the four of us. We are a small team. As we all know, we came from time travel, and in this world, alien beasts are the overlords. We came here from time to time, and brought us with us weird survival system. Do you believe me when I say we can't go back? In time travel novels, it seems that there is no return after time traveling. I haven't read any of them," Lin Yu said, with a calm face, but in fact, he gradually became depressed inside. "At the beginning, we all fell here inexplicably. Some were on the island, some were in the woods, and some were in the desert. Many people were eliminated. Where will they go? Return to the original place. The world? This is the nightmare of this world. Because you don't know whether the so-called elimination is death. The corpse is there anyway." Yang Zimen's words slowly turned from dull to heavy. The expressions on the four of their faces were the same. Now that Lin Yu had also been assimilated, this was indeed a topic that made people laugh. "There were originally 10 of us, and we all crossed over not far from each other. The luckiest thing is that they are sisters, and they are not separated by the world." As he said that, he hugged Yang Nian'er. "Later, 10 of us fought all the way, and in the end only 4 of us were left. Their bodies were torn to pieces by strange beasts and turned into minced meat. I didn't dare to think about whether he returned to Blue Star or stayed here forever. Here. We met a man in black robes, and he took us to a human city." After Yang Zimen said the word finished, he took a deep breath and finally stared at Lin Yu, wanting to see his reaction. Lin Yu's expression changed. He pursed his lips and thought. After a while, he slowly spoke, "In other words, before us, there were humans who came to this world. Did they also travel through time?" Yang Zimen shook his head and said, "I don't know. Human cities are very similar to our ancient Chinese cities. They are orderly and have vendors. They are very big and exciting. Later, we joined an organization called the Kinyi Chamber of Commerce. We originally escorted things to another city with the Merchant Association's caravan, but we were attacked by strange beasts and broke up the team. Later, we encountered a crazy horse. The group suffered an unprovoked disaster. Lin Yu was still digesting the information sent by Yang Zimen. Seeing his appearance, Yang Nianer covered her mouth and laughed loudly, saying, "I'm afraid it has subverted little brother Lin's worldview." At that time, when we arrived at Suio City, I was so shocked that my jaw dropped. Yang Zimen looked at Yang Nianer, then looked at Lin Yu, and smiled. This reaction is normal. After all, when you cross here, you won't cross directly into the city. We are hundreds of miles away from Suio. The journey. Jokai walked up to Lin Yu, took out a scroll and handed it to him. "Brother Lin, we don't have anything valuable on us. I guess you don't need these things. This one is centered around Suio City. Kinli map, I hope it will be helpful to you. You must come to Suio and I'll treat you to a hamburger." "And burgers?" Lin Yu's frown relaxed a little. Jokai smiled and said, "There is also milk tea. There is so much fun in the city." "Okay, I'll go find you when I'm done, but I still have a question. Why doesn't anyone in the system say anything about this? You must be the only ones who have found the city." Lin Yu was thinking just now this thing, and whether elimination equals death. Jokai was mysterious. "This is the rule. We have to wait for ourselves to explore. We have better luck. The people in the Chamber of Commerce told us that it won't take long, maybe to level 20 or 30. Once we are familiar with this place and have the ability to protect ourselves, the weak will be eliminated, and the strong will slowly find the city, or meet other humans and be taken to the city." "So that's it." Lin Yu showed a look of realization. It was indeed in line with the style of a game, but this game seemed not as simple as imagined. Jokai and the other four said goodbye to Lin Yu. The horses had gone far away, and the ground was temporarily safe. The four thanked him again and said that they would go to Suio City to entertain Lin Yu well and repay his kindness. Putting them down, Lin Yu headed towards the King Mountains. What he didn't know was that the four people on the ground actually quarreled. In the end, the taciturn sister left alone, and the other three went in another direction. Waiting in the knee-deep grass, Yang Rusu raised her head, as if looking for something. A figure appeared in her mind again, and then quickly disappeared. On Dabai's back, Lin Yu was concentrating on looking at the map, mainly looking at the King Mountains, which only marked the outer areas. Lin Yu compared it and found that the King Mountains covered an area of 100 square kilometers, and it was estimated that countless exotic beasts lived there. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji Sheng Chong. Chapter 16. The map is quite detailed, with different colors marked on it: white, purple, red, black, and the danger levels are ordinary, dangerous, life-threatening, and forbidden death. Ordinary level, there are some primary level exotic beasts and a few mid-level exotic beasts. Dangerous level, the majority are mid-level, the minority are high-level, and there may be exotic beast lords. Life-threatening means that there must be exotic beast lords, and there are more than one. Forbidden death, people who have entered, have never come out, and have been listed as forbidden death. The King Mountains are full of peaks, and the terrain is mostly steep. Even the outermost area has reached the purple level, which means that there are a small number of high-level exotic beasts inside. Lin Yu stared at the map. The King Mountains occupy a large area of land, most of which are purple, and the core area has reached red. His brows wrinkled unconsciously, because there are annotations on it. From the outer periphery to the depth, the density of high-level exotic beasts will increase, and the danger level will rise sharply. The so-called white and purple levels are not so finely divided, and if you go deeper, it is actually no longer a purple level, and it may be similar to the red level, except that there is no alien beast lord. With his current strength, he can only go to the periphery to try. After studying it again, he put the map up. Dabi's flying altitude dropped, and the bottom had become a forest. After entering the forest and going further, he really entered the Kingu Mountains. Entering the Kingu Mountains directly from the air is completely seeking death. After all, there are many alien beasts in the air. Stepping on the ground, the trees here are much taller than the previous forest. When you walk in, you will feel damp and cold. Use the beast capsule to collect Dabi and release the leader of the black-horned horse. Lin Yu named it Red Rabbit. Riding Red Rabbit, Lin Yu felt that it was not safe enough, so he released Xiao Jin again. In fact, when he took Red Rabbit, he also thought that this black-horned horse was very cool. With black muscle lines and a single horn on its head, Lin Yu thought it was very similar to a mythical unicorn. There was no saddle. Fortunately, the Red Rabbit had fur, otherwise it would have to lie on it when running. That way, it did not meet Lin Yu's expectations. What he imagined was a bit second year, but it was also in line with the fantasy of young people. The man in armor rode a horse with a horn, holding a long sword, running on the grassland. The wind blew his cloak, and the enemies rushed over and were killed one by one. However, there is always a gap between imagination and reality. Lin Yu rode the Red Rabbit in front. He decided to buy him a saddle. He didn't know if the store sold it. Maybe he could go to the city to buy one. Xiao Jin followed behind, uprooting a fruit tree from time to time, then opened his mouth, and then the fruit tree was shaken by him, and the fruit fell into his mouth. Lin Yu in front saw it and always said that he was destroying the ecological environment. Soon, a muffled sound came from the distance, and then a roaring sound came. Lin Yu was still looking at the map to confirm the direction. When he heard this sound, he couldn't help but raise his head and listen carefully. Is this a monkey? Or an orangutan? Most of these strange beasts live in groups. If the map is correct, most of them are mid-level strange beasts. Lin Yu only has 3 strange beasts. Although they are all mutated, whether they are monkeys or orangutans, they come in groups. While Lin Yu was thinking, the black-haired orangutans in front of him kept moving forward on the branches and vines, and behind them, there were dozens of orangutans following behind. Their target was Lin Yu. Xiao Jin roared at a large group of orangutans on the opposite side, and over there, some were on the trees, some were on the ground, and at this moment, they all stopped, pounding their chests with their arms, dong 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 like beating drums, and at the same time, they all roared loudly, startling a flock of flying birds. This chest muscle. They are demonstrating to each other. Lin Yu realized that he should have broken into someone else's territory. So, what if they want to fight? The leader of the Broken Mountain chimpanzees is detected approaching. Exotic beast, the leader of the Broken Mountain chimpanzees, intermediate level 6, level 16. Life, 5000. Speed, 1100. Attack power, 2000. Defense, 3000. Qualification, ordinary. Skills, Crazy Mountain Fist, extreme speed. Crazy Mountain Fist, increases defense power of both arms by 20% and attack power by 10%. Extreme speed, increases self-speed. Many chimpanzees stood together, and behind them, a more majestic one came out. This one should be their leader. The tallest chimpanzee in front of them, standing upright, is only 6 meters tall. Although the leader of the Broken Mountain chimpanzees is not as tall as Xiao Jin's 11 or 12 meters, it is almost the same. It is estimated to be nearly 10 meters tall. Is this leader competing to see whose chest muscles are bigger? At this time, dozens of broken mountain chimpanzees have surrounded them. The red rabbit horse under his seat was already restless, and all the chimpanzees stared at him with wild eyes. Please, don't be so serious, it's too ugly to bully the minority with the majority. Otherwise, let's fight alone. Lin Yu pointed at the leader of the Pashan chimpanzees with a sword and smiled. Roar! All the Pashan chimpanzees opened their huge mouths and roared. At that time, a disgusting smell spread over. Lin Yu pinched his nose. Their teeth were very yellow, big, and sharp. It's agreed. No chemical attacks. Roar! Xiaojin also roared behind him, deafening. Boom, 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 the chimpanzees pounded their chests again, and then they charged. Lin Yu immediately put Xiaojin and Qi Tu into the beast taming capsule, and then threw one into the air to release De Bai. At this time, one of the fastest runners had already come close, and its arms suddenly turned into the color of rocks, swung into a circle, and smashed towards Lin Yu. In front of it, humans were only as high as knees. This punch would flatten even steel. However, humans are small and relatively flexible. Lin Yu rolled to the side, and this punch made a big hole in the ground. Lin Yu gritted his teeth and jumped onto its arm regardless of everything. The arms of this mountain-breaking chimpanzee were full of muscles. Lin Yu grabbed the hair and climbed up desperately. When its other hand grabbed it, Lin Yu had already reached its shoulder, and then, suddenly, jumped up. De Bai hovered in the sky, 3 meters away from the chimpanzees on the ground. Lin Yu shouted loudly. This time, he really tried his best. This was a gamble. De Bai dropped a little, and Lin Yu barely managed to grab De Bai's claws. Fly, fly up. Quick. The nearly 10-meter tall leader suddenly jumped up and tried to catch Lin Yu, but it was a pity that it was still a little short of jumping nearly 10 meters away. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji-Sheng Chang. Chapter 17. De Bai quickly took off. Lin Yu looked at the dozens of chimpanzees below and finally restrained his reason. I will come back to deal with you when I become stronger. Damn, isn't it just a stroll in front of your house? You are so anxious that you want to eat people. If nothing unexpected happens, I will visit your house in the future. Lin Yu did not let De Bai fly for too long. He came down after leaving the chimpanzee's territory. After all, it is too unsafe to fly in the air in such a place. In the air, Lin Yu also roughly confirmed the direction. To the north of his position is a place called Ji Unseen Peak on the map. Ji Unseen Peak already belongs to the middle area. The density of high-level beasts here is greater, and the degree of danger is straight up. Lin Yu plans to build a fortress on Ji Unseen Peak, and then with the fortress as the center, constantly train, upgrade, and accumulate experience in the surrounding areas. However, it seems a little difficult to get there now. After landing on the ground, Lin Yu continued to move forward in the original formation. Not long after he came down, he encountered a mid-level beast. This time it was a beast acting alone. Now it was their turn to use their numbers to bully the minority. The last knife was finished by Lin Yu. At this speed, he still needed to kill at least 3 mid-level beasts. Of course, this kind of beast was level 11, which was an early mid-level beast. Later, the experience required for upgrading became more and more. To upgrade to level 20, it might take dozens of mid-level beasts. After selling all the valuable things of the beasts, Lin Yu left the battlefield. The smell of blood would attract other beasts. At noon, Lin Yu caught some fish by the river and grilled them to eat. He found that the horse Kitu actually ate meat. Eating meat is good, eating meat makes you stronger. As for Xiaojin, it has many ways. After a simple lunch, Lin Yu continued on the road. He wanted to find a safe place before the night came. During the meal, Lin Yu thought for a while. If he went to Ji Unseen Peak with his current strength, it might take a lot of time. After all, he was still far away from Ji Unseen Peak. He remembered one thing. Building a silver-level fortress there didn't seem to be very safe. After all, the high-level exotic beasts there were not rare. The sun shone through the dense treetops, casting a faint golden light and shadow. Riding on Kitu, the system issued a prompt sound. The exotic beast Kingwen Tiger Beast is detected approaching. Exotic beast, Kingwen Tiger Beast Intermediate, level 18. After listening to the system's prompt, Lin Yu knew that this was the highest level exotic beast he had encountered. And this exotic beast was mutated. It was an autonomous mutation, which means that the Kingwen Tiger Beast has great potential. For an autonomous mutation, its own bloodline must not be too low, just like the earth-shaking bear Zyajin. The blue-striped tiger beast came out from a bush. Lin Yu had seen tigers in the zoo of Blue Star. Most of their stripes were black, but this one was white with blue as decoration. However, compared with the majestic animals, ordinary animals were just a joke. Xiaojin, tear it apart for me. After receiving the order, the giant bear covered with brown hair ran over like a mountain. Compared with its peers, the blue-striped tiger beast could be called majestic, but it was still a small one at this time. The blue-striped tiger beast opened its bloody mouth. Skill, power of the Beast King. It can intimidate the beasts with lower bloodline than itself, and even scare away the weak ones directly. When the red hare heard this sound, it raised its front hoof and almost knocked Lin Yu over. Okay, be quiet, find a chance. I told you to use the unicorn light wave, you use it. Do you hear me? Lin Yu patted the red hare. Over there, Xiaojin knocked down a tree. The blue-striped tiger was too flexible, and Xiaojin's shortcomings were magnified in comparison. Roar! The giant bear lifted up a tree and swept over. Back off a little. The red hare squeezed its belly and turned back a little away from the battlefield. The Earthshaker fought like crazy, with a kind of earth-shattering momentum, sweeping everything. However, in Lin Yu's opinion, Xiaojin was just hammering the ground. He couldn't hit the enemy at all, so he decided to get some more mutant potions to increase Xiaojin's speed. Otherwise, he could only play the role of a meat shield. Shoot it! Finding the right time, the beam shot out, but Xiaojin, the stupid teammate, used the tree to help the blue-striped tiger beast block it, and the trunk was blown off. Lin Yu slapped his forehead. Stupid teammate. Dabai, come out and help it. Use the black cloud to block its sight. In desperation, Lin Yu released the black cloud snake eagle. In order to make a quick decision, Xiaojin made too much noise when fighting, and to avoid unnecessary trouble, Lin Yu could only go all out. The black fog enveloped the blue-striped cloud tiger, and soon, it rushed out from another direction. Shoot! Lin Yu was waiting for this moment. A big hole was blown in the belly of the blue-striped cloud tiger, and Xiaojin had already used a tree trunk to slam the blue-striped cloud tiger into the ground. Riding on red hare, Lin Yu went over to make the last cut. Quickly cleaned up the battlefield and set off again. The weather in the mountains is changeable. It was sunny one moment, and now it was raining. There were especially many snakes, insects, rats and ants at this moment. Lin Yu didn't like these strange beasts that either had countless legs or no legs. From the bottom of his heart. Even if they were not strange beasts, he didn't like them either. The rain didn't last long, the sky cleared, and water kept dripping from the branches. Near dusk, Lin Yu encountered 3 mid-level wind wolves. This thing is particularly difficult to deal with. After all, it is really fast, has soul, and is small in size. Lin Yu does not want to go against them, but these 3 wolves seem to be hungry wolves. He has already questioned why the heavens cannot let him have a smoother time. The battle is about to start. Lin Yu has already reached level 16. In fact, Level 16 cannot be compared with level 16 of alien beasts. At most, he can fight with primary alien beasts. Of course, it is said to fight alone. In terms of its own strength, it is not the kind of group fight. The most annoying skill of the Wind Wolf is the Wind Blade. It is fast and difficult to dodge, but the damage is not high. Maybe facing a mid-level Wind Wolf, Lin Yu can chase it, but there are 3 of them. The Wind Blade is a talent skill with a very short cooldown time. All of a sudden, it is overwhelming. It hits Xiao Jin like a massage. Lin Yu led the team away, and the Wind Wolf followed behind. It is said that even clay figures can have tempers. Lin Yu released the Black Cloud Snake Eagle, and covered an area with the Black Cloud skill. Then he used the skill Raid, and with the attacks of the Earthshaker Bear and Lin Yu, he finally killed a Wind Wolf. The other 2 saw that the situation was not good, so they wandered around for a while, and finally ran away in shame. Xiao Jin came over and shook the body of the Wind Wolf. Lin Yu gradually understood what it meant. "You want this thing, right?" Lin Yu said. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji Sheng Chong. Chapter 18. Its claws picked out a piece of meat from inside. This piece of meat didn't look like meat, it looked like an organ, and it didn't seem to grow together with other meat. Xiao Jin put the meat on his claws and then stretched it towards Lin Yu. "The heart of the Wind Wolf has been detected. If you take it, you will have a 66% chance of obtaining one of the Wind Wolf's innate skills and a 6% chance of obtaining 2 innate skills. Super rare item, Heart of the Wind Wolf. Available skills, Wind Blade, Claws. Super rare item." "I came across it," Lin Yu said to himself, with a face full of doubt. "But the system will not make mistakes." Lin Yu told himself this, which means that his luck has finally improved. "Wind Blade, if I get this skill, will it come out of my mouth? The Wind Wolf will come out of its mouth." Thinking of this, Lin Yu's face became weird, and then turned bitter. This piece of meat is as big as his head. He has many questions to ask, but he doesn't know who to ask. For example, can I eat it after it is cooked and cut into pieces and sprinkled with salt? No, stir-fry it and add some onion, ginger, garlic, and chili. Do I have to eat it raw? I will probably have diarrhea if I eat it. I took the Wind Wolf heart from Xiao Jin. At first, I thought he wanted to eat it, but it turned out to be for me. In fact, although the alien beast can't talk, it is sometimes very warm. Lin Yu sat for a while to build up his mind. As a Chinese, when he was on Blue Star, he didn't even like to eat salmon, let alone such a big lump full of blood. Lin Yu picked it up. This thing was strangely heavy. He closed his eyes and took a bite. The 3 alien beasts were all watching him. The entrance was not as unpalatable and disgusting as he imagined. Instead, it was fragrant, and then quickly turned into a hot stream, wandering in the body. Lin Yu finished chewing the Wind Wolf heart. The heat flow filled the whole body, and the warmth made people want to sleep. "I really want to lie on the big bed, take a hot bath, and cover myself with a quilt and turn off the lights." Lin Yu cheered up, climbed on the horse, and felt himself. He didn't know if the system would prompt him if this thing succeeded. The sky was gradually getting dark. Lin Yu climbed a small hill. It was still about 20 miles away from Ji Unseen Peak. After finding the direction, Lin Yu found that he had taken a detour. The Ji Unseen Peak, which was originally in the north, was now in the northeast. But there was nothing he could do about it. After going down the hill, the system prompt sounded. "Congratulations on obtaining the skill, Wind Blade." Lin Yu was a little happy, but also a little confused. The main reason for the confusion was that he didn't know how to use the skill. Note: skills can be upgraded. For details, please go to the store to buy detailed explanation of talent skills. Lin Yu heard that this was a book. Not many people bought this book. He spent some survival coins and started to read it quickly while riding on horseback. Soon he found a page belonging to Windblade. This book is about how humans upgrade after obtaining the heart of alien beasts, and gives a detailed explanation of how to replenish energy. There are probably tens of thousands of people who have acquired the skill of Windblade in history. To upgrade this skill, you need to use Swift Windgrass, which is the lowest level method. Or you can use the Windblade upgrade potion, which is relatively expensive. You need to learn how to use the skill. After taking the heart of the beast, there will be a heat flow in the body, and then it will gradually disappear. That is the energy of the heart of the beast. It lurks in the body. The most basic method is to exercise to make the blood flow, and the energy in the body will reappear. Then you have to feel it, try to mobilize it, imagine the shape of the wind blade, and release it from your hands. After watching for about a minute, Lin Yu raised his head and was alert to the surroundings, digesting the content just now in his heart. Swift wind grass, exercise, heat flow. Lin Yu recited these words, but how to move now? There are murderous intentions hidden everywhere in the jungle, and think about these things when you are in a safe place. There is an uphill road ahead, which is winding and twisting. After the vision is raised, it is found that this is a mountain. The way up the mountain is difficult to walk. Lin Yu put away the red hair and stood on the shoulder of the Earthshaker bear instead. It was getting dark, and there was no way to go further. Lin Yu wanted to rest here for the night, or see if this place could be used as a base and build a fortress here. The mountain was very big, and he encountered a mid-level beast on the way, but it turned out to be a gift of experience. With the breath of the Earthshaker bear, some primary level beasts did not dare to approach. He had to find a way to upgrade his beasts. When the fortress was built, he would have time to study these things carefully. Another second-level beast is coming. Go. Crush them. The sky was already difficult to see the road. Lin Yu reached a mountain top. There was also a mountain on the opposite side, with a cliff in the middle, but the two peaks were connected at the bottom. Lin Yu looked around and found that the jungle at night was even more dangerous. There were many second-level beasts on this mountain, and they killed their way up. The top of the mountain was windy and empty. Lin Yu found something to make a simple torch, and then made a forging furnace. In the center of the mountain top, the Skylight Fortress was built. It was almost the same as what was depicted on the blueprint, and it looked like a castle. Coming here was like building something in the game, and it was done instantly. Lin Yu walked into the first house in this world with anticipation. Fortunately, the fortress had wall lamps, and the style was very retro, with the ground and walls made of rocks. A Western castle. Cool. There are some basic facilities in the castle, such as the huge chandelier in the living room, but other than that, it seems like there is nothing. There are many rooms upstairs. Lin Yu familiarized himself with his newly built house, turned on the lights, and then lay on the ground. Even though it was not the tiled floor like on Blue Star, and there was no sofa or TV, Lin Yu was very satisfied. Perhaps, he should marry a wife. There is no way to go back, so let's live first, and then find a way to live. Life has to go on. There are not many trees on the top of the mountain. Lin Yu decided to make a bed for himself. He wanted to sleep on the bed, cover himself with a quilt, and dream. Finally, he had a sudden idea and went into the store and found a blueprint for a simple bed. Then, Lin Yu built a woodworking table, which was very game-like. This is indeed a bit like the sandbox game I played before. It's really like it. There are many blueprints. Lin Yu also found the blueprints of animal skin mats, animal skin carpets, tables, etc. Then, the castle gradually became less empty. Dinner was barbecue. Lin Yu's appetite increased, perhaps because upgrading would improve his physical fitness. After eating, Lin Yu came to the main control room on the second floor. Through the window here, he could see the situation outside the castle. There were also several switches. Lin Yu turned on one of the defense switches. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji Sheng Chong. Chapter 19. After pulling the switch, the castle shook noticeably. Lin Yu went outside to take a look and found no obvious changes. Let's wait until dawn to see everything. Lying on the animal skin mattress, Lin Yu made an indescribable sound, and there was a slightly shaking fire next to him. Close your eyes, and the world turns black. It seems that everything has returned to Blue Star. I'm probably still playing with my phone at this moment. Thinking of what happened here, Lin Yu's thoughts started from another world. He went shopping in the store. The system updates are still quite frequent. This time, the store has added a lot of things, and there is also a level ranking list. This level ranking list has a particularly cool name: Peak Survival List. The first place in it is no longer Lin Yu. The first place is a survivor named Brave Sheep, who has reached level 19. The second place is also level 19. The ranking list only ranks up to the 100th place, and Lin Yu ranks 38th. I took a look and found that the ranking has dropped to 39th. In the upper left corner of the ranking list, there are also two words: reward. The reward is written in detail. If you stay on the Peak Survival list for 1 month, the system will issue you the Peak Survivor badge. This badge is a gold level defensive weapon. When you are in danger, it will automatically activate to protect the owner. The effect is only once. If you stay in the top 10 of the Peak Survival list for 1 month, you will get the exclusive Peak Survivor badge. This badge is a platinum level defensive weapon, and it has 3 fatal protection effects. The reward is very tempting. This is to induce people to upgrade crazily. Lin Yu opened the world chat again. Many people were talking about the top list, and some were discussing a survivor on the list. The regional chat, which was not very active at ordinary times, became active tonight. Wuhushan is a large area, and there must be a lot of people. It may be driven by the new Peak Survival list. Lin Yu glanced at it and left. Then he clicked on the icon, which was a shabby little house with the store option written on it. The store has also been updated, and the books option has been added to the quick option bar. There are many things Lin Yu needs. For example, Survivor Code, Continental Encyclopedia, Alien Beast Encyclopedia, etc. Lin Yu's nerves have not completely relaxed. He plans to complete these important knowledge. After all, many unknown things can easily take your life. Today, Lin Yu's mind popped up that sentence from time to time: who knows where those eliminated people went? They turned into a pile of minced meat in front of me. Death, many people say they are fearless, but when it comes, are you really ready? It's as if the subconscious is telling him that the more you know, the more possibilities there are, and maybe you will be out of danger at that time. Lin Yu read it very seriously, and gradually, he thought while reading. This place is similar to a continent on Blue Star, but it is called the Alien Beast Continent. The Alien Beast Continent has indigenous inhabitants. Lin Yu learned that this book seems to be recorded by indigenous people, and the narrative angle above is also from the perspective of indigenous people. About 300 years ago, the Alien Beast Continent invaded the foreign evil. The foreign evil is also human. They wear strange clothes, pay attention to Confucianism and Taoism, and chant about it. Later, after fighting, some of these people built cities on their own, and some joined the natives. 100 years ago, another wave of humans appeared out of thin air. The natives thought it was an invasion of foreign evil, but the humans brought the so-called guns. Later, due to the lack of raw materials, the guns have become antiques. Most of this wave of outsiders joined the foreign evil camp 300 years ago. Then 10 years ago, the foreign evil came again. This time, their clothes were even weirder, and they brought something called mobile phones, which later became antiques because they could not be used. The natives divided the alien humans of these three different periods into the first, second, and third generations from the time before and after. The natives themselves are called the God Clan, and the alien humans themselves are divided into tribes. Lin Yu guessed that the so-called tribes should be countries on the blue planet. 300 years ago, if the Chinese came to this world, they should be people from the Qing dynasty. Lin Yu had already imagined a group of people with braids and Manchu clothes in the jungle, which was really quite weird. 100 years ago was a time of war, an era that the Chinese people will remember. As for the Blue Star people 10 years ago, it should be the milk tea they brought. After learning about history, Lin Yu began to read some knowledge about strange beasts. It was not until the second half of the night that Lin Yu fell into a deep sleep. When he woke up, it was already light outside. Today's goal is to build fortifications and sweep the mountain. In the store, there are all kinds of drawings, including various buildings, city walls, fences, etc. Lin Yu bought the drawings of a small city wall and surrounded the outermost part of the mountain top, leaving only 4 doorways in the east, west, south and north. Later, Lin Yu bought the drawings of the watchtower and built 2 watchtowers. At about noon, Lin Yu took Han Fang down the mountain and prepared to sweep the mountain thoroughly. After learning, Lin Yu has initially recognized some useful plants, such as some edible fruits and some fruits that can improve experience. During the sweep, he encountered some low-level alien beasts. At this time, Lin Yu would come down and fight the alien beasts himself, mainly to feel the presence of the wind blade, but this did not seem to be an easy task. In one afternoon, Lin Yu reached level 17. There were many intermediate-level beasts in this mountain, and they were almost all hunted down. During this period, Lin Yu also tamed a black-haired dog that guarded the house. Lin Yu named Ahuang, this is a classic name. Ahuang was also a mid-level exotic beast. Lin Yu mainly felt that the courtyard was so big and too deserted. One day passed, and Lin Yu swept through the mountain. However, there was another mountain on the opposite side. The bottoms of the 2 peaks were together. That was Lin Yu's goal for tomorrow. In the evening, it was time to study again, and I read many books written by indigenous people. After all, they have lived in this land much longer than their foreign counterparts. The next day, Lin Yu built a suspension bridge to connect the 2 peaks, and then began to sweep the second peak. This mountain peak was denser in terms of plants than the original one, and then Lin Yu encountered a group of monkeys. This kind of monkey is called the golden-threaded gibbon. They are very intelligent and like to throw things and hit people. When passing by, Xiao Jin knocked down several trees before pulling them out. There were dozens of monkeys, many of them were at the second level. Lin Yu decided to conquer one. Survival of the Beasts, Awakening the Beast Taming System at the Beginning. Author, Ji Sheng Chong. Chapter 20. The golden-threaded long-armed monkey has brown hair all over its body, but there is a strand of golden hair on the back of its head, and its arms can reach below the knees, so it is called the golden-threaded long-armed monkey. Lin Yu had a good plan. This monkey is very intelligent and must be very familiar with this place. Instead of slowly looking for resources by himself, it is better to find a local resident to lead the way. Isn't it wonderful? After naming the monkey Tongtian Demon Monkey, it took Lin Yu to a mine cave. This made Lin Yu ecstatic. If I don't get rich, who will? For this reason, Lin Yu specially bought a book about minerals to supplement his knowledge urgently. The mine cave extended downwards, and the Tongtian Demon Monkey picked up a stick, called Squeaky to Lin Yu, and then ran down. There was no road, only some protruding rocks, and then down. The slope was a little gentler, and there was gravel under his feet. Tongtian Demon Monkey picked up some things on the road beside him. Then, under Lin Yu's shocked gaze, he picked up two stones and knocked them against each other. Sparks flashed in the dim cave. The torch was lit and swallowed the darkness. Lin Yu widened his eyes. Although it was not as tall as the gorillas he had met before, it was also 2 meters tall and much stronger than Lin Yu. Tongtian, you are no longer a monkey. I shaved your hair, and you are a human. Lin Yu commanded Tongtian to make a few more torches, and then continued to go down. The cave was natural. Going further down, the cave gradually became larger. On the stone walls on both sides, a kind of crystal stone with a faint glow grew. Yellow light crystal ore. Lin Yu read it. This is a very common ore in the alien beast continent. He threw a sword to Tongtian and asked him to collect all these ores. He could put them in the castle for lighting, or take them to the store to exchange for survival coins. These are all resources. Tongtian worked very hard, and his silver-level sword was also very sharp. It didn't take long for all the yellow crystal ore in this area to be mined. Lin Yu didn't plan to dig more. Holding the torch, he walked down. The air became colder, the kind of temperature drop. Tongtian had thick hair and didn't seem to feel very cold. Is there any cold attributed ore in this place? Lin Yu asked Tongtian. Tongtian walked in front, holding a torch in his right hand and pointing with his left hand, then he let out a low roar, and then hugged his chest with his arms, shaking his body, which should mean that it was very cold. There are cold attributed ores here, and there are also fire attributed ores. Lin Yu frowned, but was a little happy. After all, these two ores can sell a lot of survival coins, and they can also be used to cast more advanced weapons. This kind of ore that can affect the surrounding environment, there must be a lot of it. It's just that this kind of mine cave, it may be too slow for Tongtian to dig alone. As for Xiaojin, it is too wild and will definitely crush the ore. And this cave probably can't hold it. Maybe he can recruit a group of monkeys to mine. After all, there is no limit to his use of beast taming capsules. According to what Joe said before, the beast taming book probably needs to reach a certain level to control a certain number of beasts. Lin Yu has a beast taming system, so there is no such limit. He can recruit the whole group of monkeys to mine here. He can even take all the beasts in this whole mountain under his command. Of course, he has to get more beast taming capsules. After thinking about it, Lin Yu was about to dig that kind of ore, but Tongtian Demon Monkey stopped him. Meaning, there is a beast below, which is of cold attribute. It can only make a strange squeak. If Lin Yu didn't have a beast system, he really didn't know what this guy was talking about. Lin Yu is really not afraid of one. Is it big down there? What level is that beast? It's big down there, the same as mine. Okay, kill him. As long as the place is wide, Lin Yu doesn't take a second-level beast seriously. After all, he has killed quite a few second-level beasts. Lin Yu released Kitu and looked at what the cold attributed ore could do. There were also some sparse unknown crystals in the mine. Lin Yu didn't step on them. Soon Tongtian told him that they were ahead. Lin Yu estimated the height here and felt that there was no problem. He turned over and got off the horse, and chopped the stone with a sword. Yes, it shouldn't collapse in a fight. Lin Yu pointed to the front and shouted, "Let's go." In the dark cave, there was a huge blue rock. There were many glowing crystals around the rock. Soon, the rock actually moved. In the distance from the rock, several balls of fire staggered towards the side. The blue rock moved even more. Then, a head raised up, and in the dim light, two eyes stared coldly. Detected the strange beast rock cold snake. Strange beast, rock cold snake intermediate level 6, level 16. Life 5000. Speed 1600. Attack power, 2500. Defense power, 3200. Qualification, Normal. Skills, Ice Venom, Rock Sweep. Ice Venom, shoots out from the mouth, and the enemy hit will be frozen for an indefinite time. Rock Sweep, turn the tail completely into rock, increase attack power by 20%, and rock time for 1 minute. This is a snake-like strange beast with rock armor, and its defense has exceeded that of Earthshaker Bear Zyajin. Of course, it is only 200 higher, which may be due to the level. When Lin Yu saw this strange beast, its entire body was coiled up into a ball. It was different from all the snakes that Lin Yu had seen. It was blue, and its skin had thick and undulating rock layers. The rock snake raised its triangular head, and its cold vertical pupils were alert to something. "Hello, big snake, are you willing to be my pet? If not, I might kill you." Lin Yu shouted, and the second-year words sounded strange. The rock snake over there spit out its tongue. Not moving. Lin Yu suddenly missed the lines in Pokemon, but the memory was too old, and he couldn't remember it. "Come out. Earthshaker." The last thing he thought of was the sentence. Lin Yu scratched the back of his head, and always felt that something was wrong. Earthshaker roared. This might be the first time that the rock snake saw Earthshaker. When they met, they would fight and didn't make sense. "Red Rabbit, shoot it." The laser of the unicorn condensed and turned into a black beam, merging with the darkness. The rock snake swung its tail, and there was a bang in the cave. The beam was blocked. This was the first time Lin Yu had seen it blocked. Although Katua was a horse, as a leader, this was its means of life-saving and deterrence. It's the innate skill of rock sweeping. The rock snake's defense was originally very high, and the tail was directly rock sweeping. The so-called rock sweeping did not really turn into rock, but increased defense, which was much harder than steel. Otherwise, Kitua's attack could penetrate several stones at once.